Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your life is almost over. Not because you're old, not because you're sick, but because you've spent years walking a path you never consciously chose. A path built by habits, by expectations, by what everyone around you called normal. You wake up every day, follow the same routine, chase the same goals, and tell yourself that someday everything will make sense. But what if someday never comes? What if you've been so busy moving forward that you never stop to ask where you're actually going? And then, for the first time, a terrifying question enters your mind. What if I've been spending my life on things that never truly mattered? Most people never ask themselves that question, not because they don't have it, but because they're afraid of the answer. Because some truths are uncomfortable. Some truths force you to look at your life differently. And once you see them, you can never unsee them. So today, we're going to face that truth together. And by the end of this story, you may never look at your life the same way again. Most people think failure is the biggest threat to their future. But failure isn't what destroys dreams. Failure hurts. Failure embarrasses you. Failure forces you to learn. In a strange way, failure wakes people up. The real danger is comfort, because comfort never feels dangerous. It whispers, you can start tomorrow. It tells you there's still plenty of time. Time to chase your dream. Time to change your habits. Time to become the person you know you could be. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin postponing your life. One day becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, years have disappeared. Not because life moved too fast, but because comfort convinced you there was no rush. Then one day, you look back and realize something painful. The future you kept waiting for has quietly become the past. Not because you made the wrong choice, but because you stopped making choices altogether. Right now, I want you to be completely honest with yourself. If nobody could judge you, if nobody could criticize your decisions, if nobody could tell you what is realistic or unrealistic, would you still be living the same life you're living today? Take a moment and think about that. Because for many people, the answer is uncomfortable. Deep down, they already know. They're chasing goals they never chose, following paths they never questioned, living according to expectations they inherited from parents, society, friends, and strangers. They inherited fears, inherited beliefs, inherited definitions of what success is supposed to look like. And after years of repeating them, those borrowed ideas begin to feel like their own. But are they really? Or have you spent your entire life protecting a version of yourself that was created by everyone except you? That question changes everything. Because the moment you start questioning the life you've accepted, you finally get the chance to create the life you actually want. One of the biggest illusions people live under is the belief that there's always more time to start, more time to change, more time to become the person they've always wanted to be. We act as if life comes with an unlimited supply of tomorrows, but it doesn't. Imagine being handed a jar containing exactly 30,000 marbles. Each marble represents 1 week of your life. Every Sunday, without exception, one marble disappears, gone forever. At first, losing one marble doesn't seem important. The jar still looks full. But eventually, something changes. You notice there are fewer marbles left than there were before. And suddenly, what once felt endless starts feeling limited. That's how life works. Not all at once, little by little. The tragedy isn't that life is short. The tragedy is spending years believing it isn't. and realizing the truth only when there's no time left to do anything about it. Everything changes when you understand one simple truth. Your life is being built every single day, whether you're paying attention or not. Every habit is casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Every decision is shaping your future. Every action is writing the next chapter of your story. And here's the part most people miss. Doing nothing is still a choice. Waiting is still a decision. Avoiding change is still choosing a direction. Life doesn't stand still while you figure things out. It's moving forward with or without you. The person you'll be 10 years from now isn't being created by your goals. It's being created by your daily actions. Not by what you plan to do, not by what you hope to do, but by what you repeatedly do today. Because in the end, your future is not built by intentions, it's built by actions. One day, all the reasons you've been telling yourself won't matter anymore. Not because people are heartless, not because the world is unfair, but because time doesn't care about excuses. It never has. Every second that passes is gone forever. The clock keeps moving while you're hesitating. It keeps moving while you're waiting for the perfect moment. It keeps moving while you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. And that's the uncomfortable truth most people spend their lives avoiding. Time doesn't pause until you're ready. Life doesn't wait for you to gain confidence. The future arrives whether you've prepared for it or not. That's why the problem was never a lack of time. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. The real problem is a lack of awareness. Because once you realize how valuable your time truly is, you stop treating it like it's unlimited. And that's when everything begins to change. At the end of the day, there are only two ways to live. The first is by default. You follow routines without questioning them. You follow the crowd because it's easier. You follow expectations because they've always been there. It's comfortable, it's familiar, and that's exactly why so many people stay there. The second way is by design. You question what everyone else accepts. You choose your own direction. You take responsibility for creating the life you want instead of waiting for it to happen. It's harder. It requires courage. It requires honesty. But it also leads somewhere meaningful. One path feels easy today and painful tomorrow. The other feels uncomfortable today and rewarding tomorrow. And whether you realize it or not, you're choosing between those two paths every single day. Not once, not someday. Today, right now, with every decision you make. A few years from now, the life you're living will be the result of the choices you're making today. Nothing more, nothing less. And one day, you'll look back at this moment. The moment when you had a chance to change direction. A chance to stop drifting. A chance to become intentional about the life you were creating. On that day, there are only two possibilities. You'll either be grateful that you started when you did, or you'll be wishing you had. Because the difference between those two futures isn't luck. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's a decision. A decision to stop waiting. A decision to stop living on autopilot. A decision to take ownership of your time before time takes it away from you. People spend their lives fearing failure. But failure is not the greatest risk. The greatest risk is reaching the end of your life and realizing you spent years surviving instead of truly living. Realizing you had dreams but never chased them. Opportunities but never took them. Time but never valued it. So before you leave this video, ask yourself one final question. If the version of you that exists 10 years from now could speak to you today, what would they say? Would they thank you for the choices you're making right now? Would they be proud that you finally took action? Or would they be begging you to wake up before it's too late? Think carefully, because the answer to that question may be the most important answer you'll ever give yourself, and it might just change the rest of your life.